Hello.
Okay, we'll get started. Please raise your hand if you'd like to ask a question.
Given the start of the tournament where you were still getting over your cold and all of that, and you must be very pleased with the progress of the first week and happy to be in the second week.
Yeah, I think today was probably the best I played overall. It was difficult conditions. So it was pretty windy out there. Wasn't easy. But yeah, each match I feel like I played better. I've hit the ball cleaner and started to, see the right shots at the right moments, and yeah, we've come a long way the last 10 days or so.
He's attracted quite a lot of attention, Kachanov. Now that you've played him, what kind of ceiling would you put for him in the future?
I mean, it's very difficult to, as I don't know him that well. The sort of the work ethic and the dedication and everything appears to be there. I think he's really into his tennis, which is very important. He, in my opinion, has a very good coach. I think Gallo Blanco, with pretty much everyone that he's worked with, he's helped them a lot. He is a very strong guy, powerful, big serve, big shots. He's got good timing. But you never know how players are going to develop. It's very difficult. But he's obviously one of the best young players in the world just now. He'll keep getting better. But yeah, I mean, I think by the end of this year, top 20, top 25, and then from there, who knows?
Andy, the two times you got broken today, you broke back straight away. Are you in that kind of zone at the moment where you feel if something goes against you, you can just step it up a gear? Is that kind of where your mind is at the moment?
Yeah, well, I mean, I said after the last match that what's important is, what you're thinking right before the following point, and just now I'm quite clear with what I'm doing. I played a bad game in the third set to get broken. I think second set, when I lost serve, I think he came up with some good returns, played some good stuff. But the third set, I didn't play a good game, and reset pretty quickly, and played some really good points the following game. To get the break back and serve it out. So that's another thing that's been positive last couple of matches. Same thing against Del Potro when I served for the second set. Broke straight back the following game and closed it out. So that's been good the last few matches.
First of all, Andy, condolences for the recent events in Britain. And Novak Djokovic was asked yesterday whether he felt sports brings people together, and he said that he felt tennis does have values that people admire, sacrifice, fair play, and the like. Could you just reflect on whether you think our sport does, in a small tangential way, bring people together, different cultures, and is that something that you admire?
I think that's one of the great things about tennis is that I don't know exactly how many different countries are represented here, in the men's and women's events, but it's a lot. For sure, we all share, locker rooms together, practice courts together. We compete against each other, and for the most part, the players get on, very well with each other. We travel all around the world. We play in, cities all over the world and different continents. We get, fantastic support, everywhere we go. And, I do think, sport, and tennis in particular, because of the nature of it, such a global sport. It does bring lots of people together from many different places. It's one of the things I feel lucky that we get to travel around the world. It's one of the best things about this line of work or job, whatever you want to call it, is that you, from 14, 15 years old, I'd been to South America, I'd been to the States, I played all around Europe from such a young age, and I wouldn't have had the opportunity to do that otherwise. So it's one of the things that's really nice about our sport.
And you are great ambassadors, not only of your country, but in general. But do you feel appreciated in France, or you don't care, or they like your game, or I am an Englishman in New York? You know what I mean? Yeah, of course, man, it was a joke. But I mean, the French people say, they don't cheer for Piolín, but here, do you think they appreciate your game?
I mean, you'd have to ask them. You'd have to ask them. I mean, this year, I mean, in most of the matches, I played in front of great crowds. It's not like the people that are sort of leaving the court and don't want to watch my matches. I think sometimes obviously you play against French players. I've played many French players here, and the crowd is tough when you're competing against the French players here. But I haven't let that affect me in the matches. I've used it in a positive way, and then like I said, here and Paris Masters last year, and during the event last year, the support was good. But yeah, you'd have to ask them.
Gentleman here and then Carradine.
Andy, you're into the quarterfinals of another Grand Slam. When you get into this stage of the competition and you feel like you might need to make some technical adjustments to your game, is that possible, or do you just have to accept that you've got to go with what you've got at this stage and just rely on that big match experience?
Yeah, I mean, you can't really make any technical changes at this stage. You can certainly make some tactical ones. Small tactical things like your court position or the height that you're hitting the ball over the net. But in terms of technical things where you maybe are trying to change a stroke or anything, I mean, not a good time to do it in the middle of a slam. But right now I don't want to. I'm happy with where my game's at. Everything's going pretty well just now, and feeling good going into the middle part of the second week.
Andy, from a technical tennis question to a football one, my colleagues in Scotland wonder if you could share some memories you have of watching Scotland-England matches, maybe with Jamie, or when you were growing up, any memories that stand out, either of the actual matches, the results, or watching Scotland against England at football?
One of the matches that I remember, well, it was more the goal that I remember, was Gascoigne's goal. I remember that pretty clearly. That was obviously, unbelievable bit of skill, and I've seen that, a lot over the years. I remember that one pretty well. I don't know about luck. To pull something like that off, you got to have something a bit special about you.
So slightly safer ground, tennis questions only. You've got Verdasco or Nishikori next. Could you just assess both of them as potential opponents?
Yeah, I mean, both obviously tough players. Verdasco, one of the biggest forehands out there. He appears to have played very well in this event. I saw some of his match with Zverev in the first round, and he played very well there. Also had a pretty comfortable win against Cuevas, who is... I didn't see that coming, and not that I didn't expect Verdasco to maybe win the match, but just the scoreline was pretty surprising. He must have played well there. And Kay, obviously lost against him in US Open. He plays well on the clay, obviously, and very solid off both wings, whereas Fernando's, most of his danger is coming from the forehand side. Kay, is dangerous off both wings. Moves well, quick. So yeah, they're obviously pretty different matchups. You got one pretty big lefty and a shorter right-hander. But yeah, see who wins that.
Stuart, and then we'll take one more after that.
How important did you feel it was to say something about the recent terror attacks after the match? It seems like it was maybe something you mentioned to Fabrice beforehand, and also did you watch the concert last night?
Well, Fabrice asked me just before. I hadn't planned on it, and he just asked if he could ask me about it, and I said, yeah, of course. And I didn't watch the concert. I listened to. We had it on the radio last night, and I saw a few clips online just before I went to bed. But it looked like it was, pretty amazing. I mean, so many people there, trying to have a good time in what's obviously a very difficult time just now. But yeah, hopefully can find a solution for it, because it's been going on a long time. There's been problems everywhere. Obviously, Paris has had its issues as well. So. Hopefully you can find some solutions.
You had a great defensive lob earlier in the tournament. You had that lob in Davis Cup against Goffin. Some people say you have the best lob in the game. Could you just give a little free-form comments about the art of the lob? Is that something you practice? Do you enjoy the shot? Just talk about that, please.
Never practice it. Well, I don't like. If I'm playing like a practice set or something, yeah, I'm sure I hit lobs, but I don't, have my coach feed me balls that I can just hit, 10, 20 lobs off. Probably that and the drop shot are two of the shots that I never practice. Really, they're more instinctive, but it's a shot that's won me some big points. It's a shot I like playing. It works well against all players. Doesn't matter if you play against someone like Karlovic, who comes to the net a lot. Obviously a huge guy, but you get a lob over the head a couple of times. It makes them sort of play a little bit further away from the net, which then opens up more angles. And yeah, if you're playing a shorter player, it doesn't matter how close they are to the net. If you get a good lob, it's not easy for them to reach it. So it's a shot I like playing, and it's won me a lot of big points.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.